Arribaru, and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today we present you our team for the 4th season of the UGA. Yeah, UGA is back and we are back as well. Within that, we are in the Paldea division. 4 divisions are included in the 4th season. And yeah, we are participating with our ELDEN warriors, and which Pokemon we picked and why we picked I will show you in this video. So, see you after the intro. So we are back. Yeah, because I was in a hospital, I thought I could do this as short as possible. So this is why I didn't hide some picks or so. You can see my full draft here, and I just will go through the picks and why I did that. So yeah, this is the team of the ELDEN warriors in the Paldea division. A goal I achieved was to get the highest BST possible. So I ended up the BST of 533, yeah. So our Pokemon, I think, besides Jumpluff, every Pokemon has over 500 BST, and we have some higher, if you can see Palafin, for example. But yeah, we had, I think, the 4th or 3rd, I don't know. I think we were 3rd. No, were we 4th? We were 4th. I think we were 4th in the pick list. So in order, I decided at the beginning that I want Skelderd because I never had the possibility, and I never had the option to pick it because it was picked away before I even could do it. So I decided to go for Skelderd as my first pick, just because I wanted a Pokemon. There are not a lot of fire types in the game, especially special fire types. And Skelderd, because of the fact that the starter has a lot of tools, for example, Helping Hand, has Yawn, has Slack Off, so it can regenerate health, which is awesome. It has Unaware, so it is unaffected of my opponent is setting up, and gives me an instant option for a Nendozu matchup, which I kind of like because of Terra. Torchstone is a very good option for me as well to set up myself. Could go Blaze as well, but Unaware is just too good to go for. It has some very good supportive tools, and it sticks to the plan I had for the draft. Because maybe I can do a cross pick decision stuff, because my main support Pokemon I had planned a few days before the draft was Jumpluff. So Skelderd was my first pick in the A tier, but Jumpluff was my pick on a D tier because it's my main supporter. It's just there for support, of course. But for that fact, it has a lot of tools. I mean, Tailwind, I don't have instant Sun, but I can set up Sun, I can set up Rain, I can set up Tailwind. It has Helping Hand, it has Pollen Puff. It's my fastest one, I think, on the team. Plus Espeon with 110, so it's not super fast, but it's fine. It has some stuff like Cotton Guard, I think Strength Up, and so on and so forth. So it has a lot of tools. And it has Fling, so I can use Fling as an option to pass. It's a dog move, so I can Terra Ghost or Terra Psychic, or I do Weakness Policy proc on my 2 Psychic types and my Ghost type, and pass an item of my choice to those. To regenerate, to proc Weakness Policy, to increase 3 stats, at once. So weakness policy proc plus 1 special attack, +1 attack, +1 speed, whatever. So this is a cool, very cool option. And it has decent bulk. The thing is, on Jumpluff, it doesn't need investment on the offensive side because it has no offensive potential, in my opinion. But defensively, it's fine. So you can invest everything into HP and split into defense and special defense, if you will. But yeah, it's a very, very good support option. It's my only supporter here. For that reason, it has to support and die in process in some way. But I don't think I think it gets memento, but I'm not sure. But it's an option as well to decrease the offensive potential of my opponent and get out of the field and bring something in to set up or sweep. That's the reason for it. Yeah. Then I choose in the B tier Crocodile. The reason for that is because I think I was in 3 drafts already in the Gen 9, and every time ground was the most threatening typing to nearly every opponent. So if you have no ground type, it's maybe an issue. So I talked about Sandy Shocks as well, but I wanted a dark type as well, which is cool because normally, originally, I wanted to pick Ting-Lu, which is Ground Dog. You know, it's way more bulky, I know, but the good thing about Crocodile is it brings me Intimidate, and I had 2 drafts without Intimidate, and I had 1 draft in the past with Intimidate, with 2 Intimidators, and this decreasing offensive potential option is so much value in a draft, in my opinion. So this is why I went for Crocodile. It's offensively good. It has Moxie and Intimidate, an Anger Point, 3 good abilities, good move pool variety, head knockoff, head foul play, Snarl, which is awesome. Intimidate Snarl in combination. In-cat setup itself, offensively it's awesome. The defense is fine because the HP stat is good. The speed is very good. So yeah, I like it for different functions in this team. For decreasing the opposing offensive pressure, or doing offensive pressure on its own. So it's very good on that part. And it's a good switch in for pivot potential with Gelders is there as well. Besides the water weakness, totally fine. But for that, I have Jumpluff, which has redirection. That's another point, yeah, with the Rage Powder. So I thought looks pretty good here. And yeah, this is why I went for it. Then I went to my free picks and I decided to go with Palafin. The reason for that is, at this point, I could complete my Firewater Grass Core because Gelder, Jumpluff, and then Palafin. I needed a physically offensive mon as well. I know I have Crocodile, but I mean 160 160 attack is awesome, at least in this hero form, and the stats overall are crazy. The BST of the thing is crazy. The speed is awesome. It has priority with Jet Punch or Aqua Jet. Quick. It has Aqua Flip. I don't know how it's called when you switch out. Wave Crash with Terra Water in rain is just a delete button. So yeah, I thought to myself it would fit very well. And the good thing is, you can play Palafin specially. Because I recognize it can then Broom Burst. And it will come the day I will play Gilded nearby Palafin and press Boom Burst. And this will hurt, I guess. So, with Terra Normal, for example. So yeah, this is an option as well I would like to play. And I thought to myself, hey, why not play Palafin differently and classy? Then I had in the B tier one left I had to pick, and I really wanted to have one Photosynthesis just one. And I couldn't decide if I could go for Slitherwing or for Iron Thorns, but it's not Photosynthesis, or Iron Moth, yeah. The reason why I didn't went for Iron Moth is just because I have already a Skeledirge, and even though they function not exactly the same, they would fill this specific gap kind of similarly, but Slitherwing is a little bit different. Has a different speed tier. I know it's weaker than Iron Moth, but the good thing on this thing is, if you look at the team, Dark and Ghost is not a typing I like to face, right? Well, and Ground as well, not. So, well, Slitherwing fits in this position because with its Ground and Bug type, it resists those specific typings, or at least pressure those typings offensively. And I have another very, very good priority move here with First Impression. Overall, the move pool of the thing is insane. If you play in Sun, like I said, I could set up Sun on specific ones, but Jumpluff, for example, it has Flare Blitz. If you Terra Fire and Sun with that Photosynthesis boost and this attack stat, well, that can hurt. It has White Charge, it has kind of Arcanine moveset if you would like, but yeah, with a lot of more of offensive pressure than Arcanine has. And I wanted to try it out. I kind of like it. I have some other things in my mind I could do with it, so I expect a lot of that specific pick. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, then we had to go for the C tier. And on this time, I thought to myself, I need a Trick Room setter because my team overall is not the fastest, and I kind of like to have a very solid Trick Room option, which is offensive as well. So it's not just supporter like Jumpluff, and yeah, and I just wanted to pick a different Pokemon, but it got picked away, so I got sniped again. I think I got sniped 8 times or so in this draft, or more. But I recognized Farigiraf is free in C tier. I thought myself it's very good value. I mean it's priority stop, which I like, and I don't want to have my opponent to have Farigiraf to block my priorities. So I have Bisharps with 3 good abilities, in my opinion. And the good thing about this thing is it is very bulky. It can Trick Room. I kind of, how I call it, I do some shit talk about Bisharps because I think it's bad. So I can show myself it's not bad, and I was wrong. Because the thing is, I could just do Trick Room and Hyper Void, Throat Spray, Torch Song nearby, so both modes set up, and do stuff. So I kind of like it. Yeah, like I said, the priority block is awesome to get it Trick Room up for free. Can play Mental Herb on it, and you're kind of free to Trick Room. I don't think there's so much to pressure it about. And the good thing is I have Slitherwing to pressure at least dog types, because ghost types are not a problem for Giraffe, but dog types are. And this is the thing Slitherwing can deal with very, very good. Yeah, overall I thought to myself it's a very good option. I think Baton Pass is an option as well to have here. Yeah. And then I had another pick in the C tier to make, and there started a fairy type dying process in the draft. There was some Pokemon which fits to the photosynthesis option I wanted without sun, in a way, but or with sun. But the thing is, you can have booster energy, right? To boost the attack of Slowing. But the good thing is, if you have Symbiosis Mon, like Florges, you can pass an item to it. So you can boost with boost energy and you can pass a Scarf, a Band, a Life Orb, an Assault Vest, everything you want to this Pokemon. So Florges and Slowing are type-wise very good in combination, in my opinion, because yeah, I think it's very good because Steel types, Slowing can deal with. Poison types, Slowing can deal with, because the move pool is very wide on that part. And Florges is especially very bulky, so it's very good option on that part. I don't know if Slowing is specially or physically bulky. I think specially as well, yeah. So it's my special wall duo if you want. Physically, not so much, but the other stats are fine. So I think I can make it work. So this would fit just to at least some combinations I can play. And then I had some, yeah, a D-pick left, and yeah, I thought to myself, I need the Steel type in a way, because every time I didn't have a Steel type, I had some issues with matchups against Dragons and Fairies. And the Fairies are not too nice here for me, to be fair. You know, with Slitherwing and Crocodile, the only resistance is Skeledirge, but and I thought to myself, I need some Steel type. And I have like I would say I have a habit that I always pick at least one Pokemon I kind of hate design wise, and maybe can get sympathical vibes while I battle with in a draft league. And such a Pokemon is Room. I really hate the design, but besides the tongue. But I thought to myself, okay, we'll test it. I didn't like the ground weakness, but I thought to myself, okay, I have Slitherwing, I have Jump Loss and Rage Powder, it should work. Even though it has a fire weakness with, or shares a fire weakness with Jump Loss, I think it could be fine. The good thing about Room is it can work without and within the Trick Room, because it can slow its speed down, but it can set it up itself as well with Gear Grind, or how it's called. It has Parting Shot. Offensively, with 117 attack stat, it's very good, especially against fairies, but as well as against rock types, um, grass types, and so on and so forth. It's Filter, which is at least a little bit of a damage reduction for super effective hits like Fire Move or so. I mean, it can play Rain Dance as well, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. But the move pool is not that broad, but it has some options. I mean, you only have 4 slots you can play, and if you have a mix of support and offensive, which fits perfectly on a Pokemon, so I will try it out. I think it can make a good job if I position it correctly, and like I said, to have the option to Scarf Parting Shot is a cool tool in my opinion. And it's not a dog type, so it's differently from other Pokemon. Oh, I mean, okay, we have another poison type with a Parting Shot, which is kind of weird, yeah. But I will try that. I think it has potential, especially as a D tier pick. It's, I think, good value. Overall, I think my whole draft has good value. Yeah. Then I had E tier to pick, and the main issue I had with my whole draft, because of some snipes, was I didn't had a physical wall. Here, Krugler even more comes into value because I have to Intimidate. If I wouldn't have Intimidate, I would have a big problem, because my physical side is not that good. I mean, okay, I have Will-O-Wisp on at least 2 months, but yeah, it's not that good. I can set up with Iron Defense and Cotton Guard and such stuff, of course. But to have an instant physical wall is not a bad thing. And in the E tier, there's not a lot of good stuff, I have to admit. But there was one physical wall, which was a ice type, which I recognize is kind of good against, let's say, 75% of all teams. They have a physical ice type, which is a physical wall, is pretty darn good. And Owluk can make a good job. The thing is here, it is ice type, but if you Terra fighting it, you can use a stat body press. With that physical defense stat, it's insane. It can deal a lot of damage. It has some cool abilities you can make use of, like Swagger Strat or so. But like I said, offensively, it's very good. It has Aurora Wheel as well. If I want to go for an Hail or Hail matchup, I can just Aurora Wheel, which is cool to support my team as well. So another screen option. Even though it's a very slow one, it works fine in a Trick Room. Again, my speed tiering is not good. Over 1 out of 10, I have nothing. So I have to be a little bit more creative on that part if I want to go a faster route. Yeah, but Everlock works very, very good in the Trick Room. And I did some calcs. It lifts a lot physically, a lot. And can deal a lot of damage back with body press. Especially if you go for, I don't know, symbiosis. You don't, if you soak up the item, symbiosis something to it, or iron defense, something like that. It can make work. I think it will surprise some opponents. It surprised me calc-wise because as an epic, it's very good value. And then I have 2 months left. There was not a lot of stuff I could pick at this moment because I get sniped, I think 6 times in 1 round. So I get sniped from my picks and my backup picks and my backup of the backup picks, so it was a little bit difficult to handle. So yeah. And there was 2 deep gear picks left. And originally I wanted Rotom, but it was too expensive, I couldn't pick it. So Rotom Wash was too high in the tier, so I had to reshuffle my draft a little bit. Yeah, and I think I come to a point I wanted to have a Rotom, and because I had in the plan to pick Everlog, I didn't want to go for Rotom Frost. And there's only one Rotom I never drafted, and this is Rotom Fan. And the normal Rotom, but yeah, different story. But of the Gadget Rotom forms, I never drafted Rotom Fan. Every other Rotom I had drafted, and they work very well. At this moment, I thought it could learn Hurricane, which is wrong because it only can learn Air Slash. Yeah, thanks for nothing. But I think I can make it work besides of that. Yeah. I mean, it has no ability with Levitate, but it's fine. In the early days, it could learn roleplay. I have to check if this is the case anymore, because if it can learn roleplay, maybe I can do some stuff with it. We'll see. But to have a Will-O-Wisp option, again, speed control with T-Wave, Discharge, Disquake. I could go for Disquake here, which is awesome. Yeah, I think the Rotom overall is very solid. You can set up with Nestplot, T-Bolt stuff, and so an Air Slash, maybe if it hits, it can make... I wish I would have had Hurricane, so I can Rain Dance and his Hurricane Thunder, but it is what it is. So, but overall, I think as a DPO pick, it's a very good value. Then I had 1 Pokemon left, and I thought to myself, what is missing is a very, very good special breaker. I mean, I can set up my special Pokemon, but they have no instant breaker potential. What I assume as a breaker is a Pokemon which has at least 115 as its base attack special attack. And there was 1 Pokemon left which blocks status moves, which I kind of like, which is Espeon. So if some opponent thinks you can Spore me, I mean, you have Gempluff and Rage Powder, Taunt and Yawn and some stuff and Will-O-Wisp, I could just mirror it back because of this cool ability of Espeon. And Espeon is another Trick Room option. It has speed control if I want to. It has Baby Doll Eyes, Yawn. It has 130 special attack, which is darn good, very high, especially as a D tier pick. I think it's has a very good breaker potential, which I needed. Especially breaker was needed. Espeon gives me that, which is a little whack because I normally don't think I need a Psychic type in my draft, and now I have 2, but why not? Let's try it out, right? I think the move pool is very good as well. So I can Terra it in a lot of stuff. I can Fling it to Weakness Policy proc stuff. I think that there are some options. Yeah, and this is my draft. Overall, I'm not unsatisfied. I think the draft overall has good potential, has good physical and special offensive potential, is especially bulky, but it has a physical wall as well, and I can intimidate Will with stuff, you know, so there is some option to at least reduce this physical defense issue here. Overall, I think the BST speaks for itself. 533 is very good in my opinion. Yeah, I think it, and there's not a role that is fitted double. So even Espeon and Fairy Giraffe do different things, you know. So yeah, overall, I think I'm kind of satisfied. Let's see how we can make this team work. Yeah, just maybe tell me in the comments, what do you think about the draft? What Pokemon do you would like to see shine? What Pokemon do you don't see in this draft specifically, and why would be interesting for me? And please keep in mind, I got sniped a lot at the end. I think after the 6th pick, there was a lot of sniping going on, so it's not an ideal draft, but for that what it is, I think it's kind of good. Yeah. So we see us in week 1. Hopefully we can seal that first week with a win. We'll see. So I'm R.EX from Warrior Sport, and the Elden Warriors are trying to claim the title of the UGA Season 4. So, yes then. Bye bye.